we're gonna do is try to put, let me make sure I can see this over my camera here. We put a tier list together of all the World of Warcraft expansions and game modes. So we got like Plunderstorm remix on there. We got hardcore, season of discovery. I don't really consider the classics to be different game modes. I just use the logos for those. We're just gonna go through all the expansions because truly classic is supposed to be just the base, you know, game. So I would love for it to hear what you guys think. If you're on YouTube, leave your opinions down in the comments. I'm sure some people are gonna agree with me, some people are gonna have some major disagreements, but here we go. And as he says, Plunderstorm is SST or GG go next. We'll see when we get there. So they're kind of out of order down here, but we definitely have to start with vanilla, right? So we're gonna use World of Warcraft Classic. Now, we wouldn't be where we are today without Classic being so good. I didn't get to play until probably halfway through, maybe near the end of Classic, but my mind was absolutely blown away at the time. And there's, you know, thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, I don't know, people who played Classic when it came out again. World of Warcraft Classic was near perfect. It was the perfect game. It was the perfect MMO when it came out. There's nothing that beats it. There's some things on this tier list that I think people are going to say that is, you know, near perfect, S tier, whatever, but it's going to have a lot of nostalgia just built into it. I don't think vanilla is that. I think vanilla is just nearly the perfect game. Shadowlands is the perfect one. Yeah, you can't beat Classic. Now, the Burning Crusade is my first real time playing through the entire game. I had a great time playing. Karazhan was amazing. I never really got into PvP until Shadowlands, so none of this is going to have PvP in mind until later on in the tier list. But I thought the Burning Crusade was a great game. You got to see a lot of the stuff that you got to see from Warcraft, the games, which honestly is what World of Warcraft was all about for me, at least at the start. I wanted to see everything that I had seen in Warcraft 3 in the MMO world, and that's exactly what the Burning Crusade did. What's up, OCD Gaming? Thank you for the raid, dog. I hope you had a good stream. Grimlock 2, what up, brother? How you guys doing, man? Yeah, we're doing a quick tier list over all of the World of Warcraft expansions and game modes. We're on Burning Crusade. I thought it was a great expansion. Having Illidan as the last guy, freaking fantastic. Illidan, in my opinion, is just as cool of a protagonist or antagonist, whatever the correct word is for that, as like Arthas. So I loved Burning Crusade. Wrath of the Lich King, feel free to put Shadowlands in terrible. Wrath of the Lich King. I know most people think this is peak WoW, but this is like the first time I got bored with WoW. And I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me. This is the first time I got bored with WoW throughout the expansion. Waiting for Erradic to badmouth Shadowlands. I don't really have more to say than about that. Obviously, seeing Arthas was really cool, but I feel like the patches after Ulduar until you got to actually the Lich King were kind of meh, right? Wait, what? Wrath of the Lich King? Yeah, dude, Wrath of the Lich King is a good expansion. I don't think it was bad. Maybe it should go in great. You know, yeah, this is a great expansion. It was just the first time I got bored, but I think it was still a great expansion if you take the whole thing into context. Now, Mists of Pandaria for me, most PvPers are going to say that this was the greatest of all time PvP expansion. I didn't enjoy Mists of Pandaria at all. For me, the story of World of Warcraft is what really drives it. The leveling experience, what's going on, like what the main theme of the expansion is. And for me, this one was just not good. The mob was fantastic. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one, but Mists of Pandaria was just a meh expansion for me. I can't even say it was good. I would love to go back and re-experience it and maybe like go into it a little bit more hardcore, and maybe it's just where I was in my life, but I was not a huge fan of MoP. All right, what was after Mists? Oh no, we didn't do Cataclysm. Cataclysm was actually after Wrath of the Lich King. I thought Cataclysm was a great expansion too, actually. It was definitely not as good as Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, so I'm going to put it after, but Cataclysm was still a good expansion. I think a lot of people think this was the start of the death of WoW, but like the questing experience was amazing. They made things a little bit more linear. You just got to pick up all the quests, do them all at once. It was fun to level through. All of the raid tiers were pretty cool. The dungeons were cool at the time. Yeah. See, I think I'm definitely gonna get some opposing opinions to this, but I thought Cataclysm was still great. Again, Mop, not so much. After Mop, what do we have? Did it go Battle for Azeroth after Mop? No. Am I crazy? I can't remember. It was at Legion? Dude, I'm gonna go crazy. I can't believe I can't remember this. WoW expansion. No, it was Legion, and it was Legion after Mop. Oh no, it's WoD. Okay, that's why I can't figure it out. I was like, neither one of those are after. Warlords of Draenor after Mop. Warlords of Draenor. Yeah, I think I wanted to see what you guys thought as I hovered over terrible. I think the theme of the expansion was kind of whack. I think as soon as you have to introduce time travel into any storyline, it really bothers me when you're bringing back characters because there's time travel. I think there was actually some really good parts of the expansion. I think the raids and stuff like that were fun, but there was serious content drought. Everyone was stuck in their garrisons, so you didn't really get to see anybody. Again, I didn't PvP, so I don't know anything about the PvP, but I don't have good, I barely played Warlords of Draenor, and it wasn't because of lack of trying. I stayed subbed, but I would log on and just be like, what do I do? Just the garrison was bad. I liked certain parts of the garrison, but taking all the players away from each other was kind of bad. So Warlords of Draenor was not good. Then we come to Legion, greatest expansion of all time for World of Warcraft. Legion. Dude, the theme, the story, the lore of Legion was absolutely perfect. I loved Legion. Having Illidan back was so cool. Having the artifact weapons was so cool. The class halls were amazing. It was the first time I feel it was really alt friendly. Dude, I wanted to do every class hall. I wanted to do the mage tower. I spent time in heroic raids, and I think any expansion really is good or bad depending on who you're playing with. And so maybe part of the reason I have such fond memories of this is it's the first time I actually tried a heroic raid consistently throughout the expansion. Dude, it was so much fun. Legion was the best. Legion Classic. I hope Legion, the artifact weapon grind was lame. I will agree with that. I didn't really focus too much on that though. I wasn't a min-maxer. So the Legion artifact weapon grind wasn't too bad for me. I just used the catch-up mechanics for that stuff. I love you. Now go lay down. You were a min-maxer. I don't think we'll see Legion Classic, but I think we'll probably see something like Legion Remix. I would really hope that is the next remix. I thought Legion was the best expansion ever, and nothing can change my mind. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth it's weird because at the time I feel like people thought it was a bad expansion, but I felt like overall looking back at it, I think it was just a good expansion. You weren't a fan of Battle for Azeroth? I definitely would put it above Mists. I wouldn't consider it a meh expansion. Let me think about this for a second. Actually, I didn't do any raids. You know what carried this expansion was the cinematics that we got consistently throughout the expansion. We got an entire storyline following Varrock Sarfang, and those carried the expansion through hype, but the content didn't really live up to it. I actually really enjoyed the nightmares near the end of the expansion and the gear, but dude, I hated the Azerite system. I did not like that. No, I didn't like this expansion. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm not really liking it. I'm gonna put it above Mists and Meh, but yeah, Battle for Azeroth was not good. It was not good. It was a Meh expansion. Shadowlands. Oh, dude, the raid was hard because the mechanics were so unforgiving. If people didn't know it, super unforgiving. Yeah, we got to get to Shadowlands. So Shadowlands is when I started my PvP journey, and that carried my happiness through the expansion. Each patch, though, was trash. I really enjoyed Torghast. I didn't like that Torghast was a required chore, but I liked Torghast, especially near the end. The story was terrible. The last raid was actually pretty cool. What were the raids? I didn't do any of the other raids though. Dude, the content was so bad. Some of the cinematics were the most cringe thing I've ever seen. There were a lot of issues, but I enjoyed my time in Shadowlands because that's when I got into PvP, and I really enjoyed grinding out PvP. But if you take that out, the only redeeming quality for me was how fun Torghast could be sometimes. It was not fun as, you know, something you had to do on alts to catch up. It was not fun as something to do, you know, required to min-max. But I think when you got all your, I don't even remember what it's called, but your talent tree is filled out and you were doing like the endless modes or the hard modes, I thought it was really fun. I like challenging content like that, like Mage Tower and all that kind of stuff. So I had fun. Were you playing Rogue so you hate Torghast? No, I was playing Warrior. Warrior could be really fun in Torghast. Do I put Shadowlands in good though, just because I had a good time in PvP? I don't think that would be even close to acceptable. Was it in terrible? It's only fun in the when the Gauntlet was released. Was it terrible? So I enjoyed it more than Battle for Azeroth, but I think just as a whole, Shadowlands was terrible, right? Yeah, I don't think I could put it in meh because I made it a, you know, good expansion because of what I focused on, but it definitely was not a good expansion, just in general. There's no way. Then we come to Dragonflight. Dragonflight moved away from borrowed power. It was super alt friendly. The content updates were insane. Dragon flying might be the greatest feature ever put into a expansion ever. The story was kind of meh. The story of Dragonflight was not great. The raids were fun. I did all the raids, not like currently, but I did them while it was awakened, and I grinded out the legendary in the last tier. Yeah, so, and the other thing is, like, Dragonflight is the first time I really stepped into 3v3. I will say, dude, when it comes to PvP, I was so excited to start grinding out threes, and Solo Shuffle came out, and it plummeted the participation in 3v3s. I was so excited to get, like, I was like, dude, I PvP to the end of Shadowlands. I was coming into the new expansion, ready to grind it out, see what we could do, and then it killed my motivation because everyone was Solo Shuffling. It was hard to find partners. I did have fun playing with my friends the entire expansion, but Solo Shuffle killed it. On the other hand, I do think Solo Shuffle's fun in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of good and bad, and like some of the goods are also bad in some ways, and some of the bads are also good in some ways. I think Solo Shuffle is like great, but dude, I'm actually super worried about what Battleground Blitz is also going to do to the 3v3 queues. Man, that's a hard one. The UI updates were great. The UI updates in Dragonflight were absolutely insane. I had a good time on launch. I never stopped playing Dragonflight. Every other expansion, I took breaks. The content release schedule of Dragonflight was too good. And honestly, the PvP felt pretty balanced the entire time. There was obviously little times here and there where it was iffy, you know, like the 1017 ret rework. You know, this last season, dude, Assassination Rogues just felt unstoppable. But I would say in general, in PvP at least, things felt pretty balanced for the most part. I think maybe we move Cataclysm down to a good expansion. We put Dragonflight here for me above Wrath of the Lich King. DF was horrible. They released Evokers. Evoker is a fun class. Why do you hate on Evokers, bro? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Dragonflight is better than Lich King? Dude, it might be here for me, man. It might be at the top of the great tier. I think I'm gonna leave it here, dude. I think I really enjoy Dragonflight. I see so many people saying Dragonflight was a shit expansion, but like, dude, yeah, in just a few minutes. But yeah, Dragonflight for me was fantastic. I love what they did with it. I met lots of cool people over the course of Dragonflight. I think playing MMOs in general is all about who you're playing with, and I just had a great time. Yeah, I've loved it. I think this is an acceptable spot for it. All right, we're gonna wait to save the War Within because it's gonna be speculatory, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna go next to what was released first. I guess it was Hardcore. Hardcore S tier, dude. This is such a fun game mode, and I know it was like an add-on first, but for them to release an official Hardcore, I had so much fun with it. I didn't even hit 60, but I think the fact that they listened to the community, saw what they enjoyed, implemented it in a way that worked, like fantastic. It's classic, but it makes it more challenging for the modern age, right? Like original classic was not hard, it just took a lot of time, but this actually makes it like hard. You never made it to 60. I never made it to 60, man. I'm on the fence about Prez players. We've all been waiting for War Within. I think DF, everyone is glad that's over, but it was already over to begin with. But I will never take any dev that tries to flex any type of rating serious. Also, what's up, Paradox? Are you okay? I'm good. I'm good. All right. Yeah, hardcore was a fantastic game mode. I don't think you can say anything about that. Season of Discovery, fantastic on release and has steadily gone downhill to the point where I don't even want to play it. I think it was a great concept. Dude, it was so good on release. I had so much fun on release. Season of Discovery is so good. Dude, back to hardcore. How much fun was hardcore just getting to 20? How many times have you run Dead Mines and had that character die? Dude, getting to run Dead Mines over and over and just trying to get to a level where you can start running Dead Mines is so much fun. Dead Mines is so good. In my opinion, they should run more Plunder TBA. Yeah, we're going to get to Plunderstorm here in a minute. We're going to get to Plunderstorm. Actually, this is what we're doing next. But yeah, Season of Discovery, fantastic first phase. Second phase was okay, and it just like I don't know what the issue with Season of Discovery was, to be honest. I think people min-maxed it too hard. I think in the first phase you weren't really min-maxing, and I think it became very min-maxy. In the following phases, they killed our server, which made us not want to play, kind of tore the guild apart, and yeah, I don't really know what to do about that after. That's super unfortunate. Season of Discovery had the potential to be great. I guess we'll see what comes to Classic next. Plunderstorm. People have been saying it. I gotta agree. Plunderstorm, absolute S tier. Why on earth this hasn't been brought back? I was absolutely sure they were gonna bring it back or keep it going forever after it was released. I'm absolutely positive that it's not finished yet. We are going to see more Plunderstorm. I'm wondering if they're going to use it as like a content filler when we are in a content drought. That would be super unfortunate if that's how it's used, because it's seriously one of the most fun games. But I could see how maybe if it was kept in its current state without updates, without regular updates, it could maybe get stale. But I really hope they bring it back. We see more maps, more abilities, and honestly, I hope it becomes its like basically own game. You know, it was the most competitive WoW PvP has ever been, in my opinion. It was easy to watch. It was fun to watch on streams. It was more fun to watch than regular WoW PvP, in my opinion. I think it was easier for people to watch. I think this could be the future of World of Warcraft PvP. And for them to not capitalize on that is insane to me. Plunderstorm was freaking amazing. I think about it multiple times a week, wishing that it would come back. Mop Remix. I almost don't really consider this like a whole nother game mode like Plunderstorm. Like this is kind of just, it almost feels like it could have just been like they put it in a separate client because of all the cosmetics and stuff you could earn. It wasn't that different from the base game. It was a great addition. I'm gonna put it at the top of good. I don't want to put it any higher because I don't think it was like game changing. It was, I mean, what did they change? You're still leveling by questing. You're still leveling by going through dungeons. I think the rewards are what make this mode cool. And I would love to see more modes like this. I would absolutely love at the end of every expansion to get a different type of World of Warcraft remix, but I'm not going to put it in great or near perfect because I don't think it was like a whole new thing. If they release Plunder as free to play game, it would be the most popular game right now. I agree with that. That type of game could easily be on console as well. Yeah, for sure. I like the Korean MMO style of remix, infinite power scaling. Only issue is there's no new content that makes you continue scaling your power to clear. Yeah, they did add different ways to play the same classes. Okay, that is true. I forgot about the different gyms, but still, they're not really that different. It's still pretty much the same. I think WoD should be under good. Same old classes. Yeah, so again, I think they added some stuff to make it a little bit more interesting, but that's kind of where it is with Season of Discovery, because Season of Discovery kind of did the same thing, right? You think Warlords should be good. Warlords held my attention for like the least amount of time. Oh, I actually think this is where this should be. Warlords should be above Shadowlands, probably. I don't know. They were both pretty bad. What up, Moon? All right, now we come to War Within. This is going to be complete speculation. Oh man, I can't drag it back down. Let me think about this for a minute. I think the story of the War Within is very intriguing. We've got the Void to deal with. We're going underground. We're visiting the Nerubians. We're visiting some Arathi people. I honestly haven't looked into the story too much because I want to keep things a little bit fresh. But I've got to say, I'm actually super excited for the War Within. I think Delves is a really cool idea for like world content that will still contribute to your vault. That's, you know, kind of single player. I think that's really cool. I think War Within is going to be great. I think it's going to be right here with Dragonflight. I think it's going to be the exact same thing as Dragonflight, and in terms of how good I think it is as an overall expansion. I'm hoping it'll be just absolutely mind-blowingly great. But I've been super excited about everything I've seen with the War Within. But again, the War Within, I'm always hype about every new expansion, right? I was super hype about Shadowlands. The intro cinematic for Shadowlands was fantastic. One of the most hyped trailers of all time, and we saw where that ended up. So you think WoD was worse than Shadowlands? Agreed. I think it should be higher. Yeah, most people I think would put MoP higher. It was just a meh expansion for me. Again, I think it had to do with where I was in life, maybe. I don't know, dude. I honestly, if I had to consider music, MoP has got great music. Literally all of World of Warcraft has great music, though. I should have pulled the ripcord. Yeah. So yeah, this is my final tier list. We have a lot in near perfect because these are actually different modes. Like hardcore and Plunderstorm are different modes, so really we only have 2 expansions in near perfect. Dude, I think this is a pretty solid tier list. I think there's going to be some people who would move around, probably maybe like Lich King, MoP, maybe WoD, but I think this is a pretty solid tier list. If you have any comments, leave them. If you have any opinions, leave them down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video if you liked it, and we'll see you around. All right.